So y'all gonna headbang with us? Last one, last song of the night. This is where it counts.
We have Moontooth here, and we're doing a Q&A portion. As you see, it's like very laid back and very intimate. This way you can really get to know these guys a little better, and they can get to know you a little more. I thought we should start off by maybe introducing yourselves and saying what you play and a little bit about you.
Sure. My name is Vincent, and I play bass guitar.
Nice.
And what else? I've been playing for probably like 10 years or 11 years now. I started when I was 15, so I started a lot later than a lot of you guys here. Who's younger than 15 here?
I am. No.
You guys are going to be amazing musicians if you stick with it.
I forgot.
Keep practicing, yeah.
I'm Ray. I play drums, and I own a recording studio in Long Island, so all I do is music, playing music and recording music, so that's the only way that I make a living, basically. And it's really hard, but it's fun. It's fun. Most of the time. So that's my story.
He records all of our stuff too, so if you hear our music, it's Ray behind the mixing board. So he's good with this. I'm John. I sing in the band, and I started playing music around the same time as Van. I started playing drums actually when I was like 14 or 15, and then just dabbled with everything else, guitar and piano since then. And yeah, I've been singing with these guys for like 4 years now.
I'm Nick. I play guitar. I got my first guitar when I was 6, and I started taking lessons when I was 8. I met Ray when we were like 13, and we've been in a band together, not the same band, but a band together for at least 13, 14 years now.
Yeah, the spirit took me, and it's so broken, while he left up and down. I said now, all my heroes in a bundle at my back.
What would you say you sound like? What are some of your influences?
A lot of classic rock. I mean, we grew up especially me and Nick grew up on like Led Zeppelin, Beatles, and just, you know, anything from that era, and mixed in with like Metallica, Pantera, like all the 80s metal bands that we kind of, 80s and 90s metal bands we kind of grew up in. And yeah, so it's just kind of like a lot of that. It's a lot of classic, a lot of like new school, progressive and stuff like that, so everything.
For me, the bands that got me into like music in general was like Green Day and Blink-182 and the Ramones and System of a Down. Like, I definitely took more of like the punk. I definitely took more of the punk rock approach, and then I started getting into like the heavier bands like Metallica and Pantera and stuff like that too. So, but you should listen to everything. Don't be the one person that listens to only punk music or only rock and roll or only rap. Like, you should listen to everything.
That's a really good point. Don't ever let anybody make you feel stupid for liking something. Music in general, it's subjective. You can't say something's really good or bad. If you feel like you're listening to a pop song and you love it, that's great. That's the point of music, okay? So if someone says, oh, you're lame for listening to that song, they're lame for thinking that, okay? You gotta, it's important to, like Vince said, broaden your horizons, okay? And yeah, I guess going on with what they were talking about, I also like a lot of blues and soul and old R&B music. So we mix that in there a lot too. Yeah, what else?
Yeah, I mean, you guys basically covered it. I mean, Mastodon was a big one, and Dillinger Escape Plan, blues music too, and for me, I started to get into more like folk and country guitar players, and yeah, like John said, everything, and anything, and everything. And the older like we get, the more music we listen to.
So you're in entire approach to creating music and presenting yourselves has been almost completely with a DIY attitude, so do it yourself. The latest album, From a Paragon, as you said, was produced, engineered, mixed, and mastered by Ray, which is incredible, right here in Farmingdale, right? And you self-released your album without being signed to a label, right? And it was done while you were working full-time jobs. That must have been really hard. How long did it take you to finish the album, and what were some of the difficulties that you had to face?
Probably took, what, like a year? Well, it probably took like 9 months to finish it, and then from start to finish it was a year and a half between when we first started recording it and then when we actually released it. Because we had to, we basically shopped it around and gave it to managers and labels and just tried to contact as many people as we could. So that just adds a lot of time to it, you know.
Plus we had to wait for artwork and stuff like that. But as far as like challenges go, if music's what you love to do and it's your dream, you gotta be willing to sacrifice and make time for it. Like for me, in my personal experience, I had a job at a bank, so I wound up having to quit that job just to go on tour. Some people, they lose track of what they love and they put themselves into something else that doesn't make them as happy. But you guys should always follow what's in your heart.
If you love something enough, you'll work it harder than you ever have in your life. I think I can speak for the other guys. I've never done anything harder than being in a band and touring, anything at all. And but at the same time, nothing has been as rewarding as this. I've never learned as much. I've never grown as much, and you know, I wouldn't be who I was if I didn't do this. So it definitely takes hard work, but if you love it, the hard work will be worth it. Definitely.
Yeah, you know, as far as the record took a long time because we were doing a lot at once, and if you want to be in a band with your friends, and you got to be all willing to do a lot, play a lot of shows, go to shows and meet people and tell them about your band and make friends that, you know, with other bands that you can trade shows with later. When you go on tour, you make sure that you stay friends with the bands that you liked, and when they come around to New York, that you help them get a show here so that they'll do that for you in West Virginia or wherever. And so, you know, we were recording the record, playing shows, talking to people from labels and management and stuff like that, all at the same time. So it took a long time, and working full-time jobs or multiple jobs. So, but it was all worth it because we've been all over the country now. We've been in Montreal and Toronto a few times this year, and you know, it's all off of that record. So even though it took a year and a half to make, or probably even more than that at this point, like from the beginning of recording it to actually getting it out and going on tour with it, in the last year we've, you know, gotten to do a lot of cool stuff because we put all that work in. So it's like anything else in life, whatever you put in is what you're going to get out of it.
Do you have like roles, like aside from like the music that you play, like do you have like you do labels or recording and mixing stuff? Like Nick, you were like my person to like talk about like booking you. Do you guys each have roles?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, I do like the audio production and like, you know, anything that has to be recorded. I mean, Nick's is basically our manager before we got a manager, and he's basically still kind of is too. He's still a manager.
Booking and social media, and pretty much just everyday correspondence with people. You know, because you have your Facebook page, your email, and you have your band page, and your phone, your text message, and stuff. So there's like way too many ways for people to ask you a question about your band, and I try to get back to everybody, whether it's like, what tuning is this song in, or like, can I book you guys here, or, you know. And then being on top of that, I feel like this helped a lot too. You know, you want to be able to get back to people right away and give them a real answer, because then, you know, it's just it's a respect.
So this is the last thing for me. I was reading the album notes, and it says, this album was not recorded to a metronome, quantized, or pitch corrected in any way. Wow, that's practically unheard of in this day and age. What was the recording process like, and what made you come to that decision to do it that way?
We did a lot of the, we basically just did like I did live drum tracks with Nick playing guitar with me, and after that we just went back and redid all the guitars and like used the live drum take, because when you do everything to a metronome, sometimes it works out, but a lot of times what you do naturally with, you know, as a human being is, you know, you push and pull and rush and drag, and it just creates a different atmosphere than if everything is just mapped out perfectly to a metronome. So for us, it was just, you know, we took the time to make sure everything came out right, and just it has more of like a loose feel. It sounds more live, so it's an interesting way to do it like that, especially because I don't do it like that all the time, but I feel like it just made for a better product, and we all were happy with the result.
It definitely grooves, and it sounds awesome. I think you have some questions from the kids.
Sure.
Is there anyone who'd like to go first? Kyle?
You first.
What is touring like?
Touring is really fun and really hard at the same time. You get to wake up every day and know exactly what you're doing and what you have to you have to get to this city and this venue by this time. You got to load in at this time, and you know how many bands are playing and when you have to play. So you wake up with a purpose every day, and it's like going to work, but like you're also with your best friends and you're doing what you love and getting to play your bring your art to new people and meet new people and see new cities. But you're also like driving. Over the summer we did like multiple days in a row of 8 to 11 hours, 12 hours, 23 hours, 30 hours driving. You basically never get out of the car, especially when at this level. We drive. We don't have a tour bus or a drive race van is outside. We have a van and a trailer, and so it's a lot of it's a lot of work and it's very exhausting. But it's definitely not made for the weak of spirit. Like if you really like doing this, then that's when you'll know. Or if you're not sure if you really want to do this with your life, that's where you'll really know.
You take a weekend tour and then that'll tell you.
Yeah. You guys have like brothers and sisters that you fight with sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah, so imagine being in a van with them for like 11 hours a day for like 2 weeks, even if you love them. Like, it's hard. And you eat a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and
But that's a good part of touring is we might play a show in some city. Say we're playing in Texas somewhere, and we're playing with a random Texas band that we've never even heard of before, and you kind of meet the guys in the band like, hi, how you doing? It might be a little awkward. By the end of the night, you're getting along great with them, and then fast forward 5 years, and these are really close friends of yours. So we made a lot of lifelong friends from touring, so you get to meet wonderful people, and this is the most traveling I've ever done. So as Nick said, you get to see a lot of places, but you got to be responsible like with your health and because it can be kind of grueling. So like as much sleep as you can get and rest. So it's definitely a healthy mix of fun and difficult, but it's an adventure for sure.
You are officially the first crowd to have heard that song played live.